What's up, everyone? This is Caesar from Caesar's American Bully Kennels. A little under the weather, but I said fuck it. I'll just make a video, sitting around doing nothing, trying to get better. So I might as well do something on time. But what I'm going to talk about today is what everyone talks about, what they're doing, or whatever you hear everyone doing nowadays is the famous phrase, "I'm just making a better dog." I hear this used a lot. I'm sure everyone hears it all the time. Yeah, everyone thinks they're making a better dog. Everyone's intentions are to make a better dog. But when it comes down to it, you really have to think about how do you go about that. Now, everyone wants to do a breeding. Everyone who's in the bully world, everyone who's into dogs, wants to do at least 1 or 2 breedings just to say they did it, just to have that under their belt. But putting that aside, because, like I said, who doesn't want to do that, who's really into dogs? But for those of us who are trying to actually have more plans than that, something, a little more set for the future, this is something we have to think of. We have to take into consideration the dog. And by taking the dog into consideration, you have to take the standard into consideration. Because the standard was placed there because that's what works. That's what over generations and generations of breeding has given us, that shows this breed consistently has these traits or these specific features that work for the breed, for the purpose. Now, when you decide to breed a dog, you have to think, where do you want to go with it? Do you want to have a show dog? Do you just want to have a house dog? Do you want to have a dog that's going to serve a purpose, give it a task, security, just give it random obstacles every day when you go take it out for a walk or, exercise it? And what a lot of people are failing to do is focus on the dog. What a lot of people nowadays are doing is focusing on the movement. Everyone's focusing on what this guy's doing, what that guy's promoting. Oh, if I get a dog from here and a dog from there, I can make some money off this. And at the end of the day, you're not making a better dog. You're not focusing on what makes a dog better. Now, with the bully breeds, how it started off, they're supposed to be athletic. They're supposed to have good movement, good muscle for their size, not massive muscle and it just looks like a bodybuilder who doesn't do legs. And with those traits, they're supposed to have good breathing characteristics, good joints, correct top lines. And all this isn't just to say, everyone needs to have a show dog. It's to say that this is what works. This is what makes the dog healthy. And by doing that, you improve on those characteristics. You give a dog more muscle, but you give it more bone and better joints by exercising and and helping it breathe better, by seeing what other breeders are focusing on the same thing that you're trying to focus on. Now, by you trying to breed based on this guy's dog looks good and that guy's dog looks good, so if I get a dog, if I breed these two, I'm going to get a dog that looks good, but you're not focusing on the traits. You're not thinking, oh, this guy's last litter died at an early age, or this guy's dogs, after a few years, they're known for hip dysplasia. Now, by getting that information, you, as a responsible, I'm not even going to say breeder, because it takes time for that, a responsible pet owner, by getting that information, you should be able to say, you know what, maybe I should hold off on this, or maybe this isn't for me. Now, everyone, I know everyone in the bully world, wherever you go, someone says, oh, yo, your dog looks good. Oh, your dog looks good too. Oh, we should make them. Or, oh, that's Dak's line. Oh, my dog's Dak's line too. Oh, we should make them. Because that's the next thing. Everyone's focusing on Dax, Primo, Bullseye. Everyone's trying to make something that already was great and continue it. Now, that's good and all, but but there's only but so much you can do with it until you start losing those great traits and start bringing in so much of the same traits before you start pulling out all the negative things in those dogs. You know, everyone's so afraid to do your homework. Spend $3,000 to $8,000 on a puppy. Why? Because that dog was specifically bred consistently with good traits, good genes, that the breeder 99.9% of the time will guarantee your dog a long life, a healthy life. You won't have no vet bills. You can feed your dog Alpo or regular dog chow, your dog will be fine. No one's focusing on that. No one's keeping that in mind. Now, with everyone not doing that, it's kind of shifting the future of the American Bully to another direction, where we're creating a designer dog now that we're just worried about how it looks. We're just worried about how it's going to stack. We're not worried about, you know, heart murmurs or, like I said, for hip dysplasia or early dying or cancer. You know, no one's focusing on that. Everyone's focusing on just the look, the name of the dog, where they came from, the name of that dog, where that came from. You know, there's so many people out there now just focusing on that. You know, and not to knock everyone, there are some breeders out there that are doing it right, that you know what, they do have some of these strands of blood, some of these, you know, these top name dogs, but they only used it a few times, but they brought other elements from other good kennels, other good bloodlines that, you know, that not everyone's familiar with. You know, do your homework. Don't be afraid to say, you know, I'm not going to worry about Dachshund, or I'm not going to worry about Primo, or I'm not going to worry about corrupt blood. That had its time to shine. We all have to let that go. We all have to realize these dogs are only going to be a certain way for so long until we don't have anything that's good longevity-wise for the dog. You know, then that brings me into, like I said, everyone's following the trend. Everyone's following the fad in the bully world. Don't listen to some guy because he's out there promoting so much shit. Don't listen to this guy because he's got 500 likes on one picture on Facebook. You know, that's what we're all consuming ourselves with, and that's not how it all started. That's not what gave us our foundation. You know, what gave us our foundation was the fact that we wanted a certain look, but at the same token, we wanted a certain drive, a certain expectation of the dog. You know, you need to have expectations. You need to set certain standards for your dogs. And once you do that, that's how you breed a better dog, because then you start expecting more. More running, more jumping, better breathing, better stamina, better looking muscle. Not just huge muscles in a dog, it looks just so unfit, just incapable of being agile, and you know, like, why do that to the dog? You know, you're not benefiting it. You know, you're actually taking away from the characteristics that it normally was supposed to have, and it's just not right. It's just not smart. So that's what I'm trying to tell everyone who's new to this, or people who think they've been in the game for a long time and are moving towards a certain direction now. You know, that's good and all, but at the end of the day, you really have to think about the future. You really have to think about the longevity of your dogs. You're selling these $1,000, $1,500 dogs, you know, that die early, or even worse. You're selling these $8,000, $10,000 dogs that, and a normal person walking down the street looks at the dog like, yo, what's wrong with it? Just because you're following a fad. You're following the new hot thing. You know, that's not what dog breeding is about. That's not what making a better dog is about. It's not about what the newest, hottest thing out there is. It's about what works for the dog and what you can build on it to improve those normal standard characteristics of that breed. And until people start realizing that, you know, none of these dogs are really going to be going anywhere. They're just going to be bought and sold left and right, just for the look. You know, we all know whose dog's out there dying quick, whose dog's out there are having serious health issues within litters back to back. And no one's really taking the time out to say, you know what, maybe I shouldn't go with that bloodline. Or maybe, you know what, that's cool, but I'm gonna start doing my thing now to better my kennel's future, or just my own dog's future. You know, downsize a little bit. Think a little more specifically. Think more of what you could do for one dog that could build that dog up. Then, once you get there, once you get that one ideal dog you have, see who else is out there who's got something similar, and that's how you build on something. Something that benefits every single characteristic, something that benefits every single standard we have for the breed, or for dogs in general. You know, just think about it, just think. All you guys out there following Joe Schmo and this nigga from out of town, everyone who's following these people, think. At the end of the day, where is this really going to go? Where is this really going to take my dog, or my program's future? You know, everything, it's a fad for a reason, because it's here to stay for a little while, and then once the next new hot thing comes up, that's gone. And then what are we all going to do with those dogs? What are you going to do with that program? You know, sell them all for cheap? Half those dogs are going to end up in shelters or kill shelters anyway. This is what I'm saying, you know, when I told a few people, if we keep on doing what we're doing, we keep on chasing these false hopes, these false dreams that some of these guys that we're following are selling us, the American Bully isn't going to end up nowhere better than where the American Pit Bull is. We're going to be seeing American Bullies in shelters left and right also. And not only that, even worse, we're going to be seeing American Bullies dying at 4 or 5 years old. You know, think about it. Think about where you want to go. Think about what you want your dog to be, and how you can go about making it the best dog you could be, the longest living dog you could have. Have your dog be able to compete with all those dogs in the AKC and all these dogs that people look down to us, that they have. You know, see what we could do to make our dogs compete and be just as good, or give those dogs a run for their money. You know, before you start all this shit, following the fad and being, oh, I'm going to breed this dog, breed that dog, think. Do your homework. If you don't have a plan, if you don't have a future, don't do it. If someone's over here saying, I'm going to start this movement, I'm going to start that movement, yeah, it sounds good, but think about it. Is it really going to go somewhere? Is it really something different than what has already happened? And is it really going to change the game? Is your dog really going to change the game? That's not, you got to realize, not everyone has a dog that's worthy of, not even change the game, but providing for the breed. The breed's already good. You know, we all love our dogs, but sometimes we got to come to a realization that, yo, maybe this shit ain't what I should be doing. Maybe this dog is good. I love my dog, but guess what? I shouldn't breed him, because not only does he have a lot of flaws, but I could do better than that. There's so much more better out there, so I should take from here, spend the $3,000, spend the $5,000, spend the $8,000 on a guaranteed dog from a reputable breeder who can guarantee you your dog will live long, perform correctly, not run up your vet bills, and just be bulletproof. Why? Because that's what dog breeding is about. That's what making a better dog is about. And until we realize that, everyone's just selling dogs as far as I'm concerned. Everyone's just trying to make money, because that's all it is. It's a business now. You know, everyone's jumping on the bandwagon. That's all it is. So, before you do, think. Have a plan. You know, be about it. Don't just talk about it. Don't just go to the meets and the hangouts and bullshit. Yeah, to act like you with it, but you ain't. You know? This is Caesar from Caesar's American Bully Kennel. I'm going to be seeing y'all out there. Trust me. These videos and all this Instagram and Facebook shit, I'm going to be seeing y'all out there. Believe me. I'm going to be making myself known to all y'all who think that I'm just out here on the internet. And trust me, we've already seen a few attitudes change. We're gonna change some more attitudes out there for the better of the breed, for the better of the dog. Fuck your pockets, fuck your movement. We out here trying to do better things for the breed. Peace.